Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So this is episode 4 now of our little chat into microphones / some people might call it a podcast, but potentially some people
might. It's like an identity crisis, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
We don't want to fully commit because it feels like we're setting ourselves up to failure. Was it over 20 episodes in or something, is it? But most podcasts don't
something
make
like
it.
That. Yeah.
I could definitely see that because it is it's definitely a lot more work than you think.
For sure.
Like to create concepts and ideas and then make it semi-entertaining and so on, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And to make it efficient to get from start to finish.
Yeah.
Within our time and yeah.
Because it's super exciting to start with, and then after a bit, you don't want it to be hard work, but there is a point where the novelty has started to wear off, and then you're like, fuck, we got to do another one, you know?
Yeah. But we're in, mate. We're committed.
Yeah, we are. We're in. Been loving it so far. 4 episodes in.
Yeah. So what we're going to focus on this episode is the more towards the business side of things. I think this might be good for members to know a little bit deeper of what we're doing. And also maybe if there's other people in the industry that might be slightly interested to know what we've been up to. Or maybe no one gives a fuck, but we care about it. So we're going to talk about it. So basically we've had Southend, and I looked at this morning. We changed the name 50 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's 2 weeks
Mate,
off.
it's actually crazy.
It's nuts. It's 2 weeks off being a full year.
Wow.
And it's been a pretty mental change, obviously. We changed the name, and then we were just cracking on with this big growth period. I think, and you can probably confirm this, I think we're up probably 80 to 90-ish members. Is that right? In a year? Give or take. People go on pause on holidays and all that sort of thing, but it's around about that.
Yeah.
Would you agree? From the start of this, it's a little bit of a journey of like how we started learning along the way, different systems to actually improve the business. So from the start, my memory is that we obviously changed the name, changed the branding as well, not just the name. So we changed the color scheme. We had this, we were establishing this presence as Southend with our black and pink, new website and new, like I said, brand from that starting point. And then from there, we just like, how the fuck do we make this way better than this already great community in this great business? How do we just take it next level and make sure everyone's stoked with this? I think my earliest memory of some good member growth is we just started doing a very simple messaging, DMing people who followed us, people who interacted with our content.
Yeah.
This was a big shift.
Yeah.
Evidently.
Yeah. That it blew my mind that, and it's so simple, and it's like, why have we not been doing this for years? It's like, as soon as, because someone obviously showing some interest into your page, most of the time, not always, but most of the time, they are remotely interested in potentially joining the gym.
Yeah.
And it's like, why wouldn't you then reach out to them, dropping them a message just to ask them how they're going, how's training going, and so on. And the amount of times, like, I remember like when we first started that, in that week, we had like 3 to 5 signups from that. And I know Dozer talks about like you can almost get like your green line per week. Green line is like that +3 a week sustainability on growth week to week by just opening chats and creating communication with people. So a lot of people might be interested in the gym, but they'll go, right, I'll follow them, and then they'll leave it at that, kind of thinking, I'll just see how it goes, I'll see stories and whatever. But then you shoot them a message and they kind of want that little push in the right direction. And I think a lot of owners kind of feel a bit embarrassed to, or put themselves out there or to like just, you're not forcing yourself on them because they're making the first sort of like following your page. You're just asking, how's it going and how's their training, and then you spark that communication.
Exactly, yeah. It makes it real for them then.
Yeah, because there's that break. You want to break down that. I think a lot over recently, I've realised it's so important to try to build trust with new people coming in and your current members as well. Of course, maintaining that trust. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you've already built that trust. But there is a lack of trust with people coming into gyms because there's a lot of, one, untrustworthy people in the fitness industry. Two, you've got these big brands, 24-hour gyms, which are just there to churn people through the machine. And then you obviously have your good gyms out there as well. But trying to build trust with people quickly is hard.
For sure.
Like I had a conversation with a couple last night who are training up north, and they've obviously fully integrated into this community up north, into this gym, and it seems like a decent CrossFit gym and stuff. And you're talking to them, and you feel like they're a bit unsure of you, of course, because they don't know you and they don't know what this gym's like, and they still have connections in their previous gym, and it's like they kind of feeling like it's never going to be as good. Yeah. And it's trying to get across that they're like in a safe space, if you know what I mean. And like we obviously know that our gym is good, and it's like they're gonna love it, but they don't know that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's trying to push that across without trying to be too forceful with it as well, because then you just come across as a bit weird and needy.
Yeah, yeah. So it was like this leap from, well, not a leap, it was a transition from a strong word of mouth membership base to actually showing more people who we and what
being
we are.
Being a bit more proactive and trying to get in front of people's faces a bit more. Yeah. And that's obviously helped with you with this Insta as well. Like you've taken on our page professionally, whereas before it would be chuck something up. And I see it on a lot of gyms now, and I find it quite cringy actually now. But we used to be like that,
right?
Just chucking up random things of like, so and so loves to train. It's just a picture of a lady holding some dumbbells, just shit like that. And it's just like there's no thought process behind it. Yeah. And I think yours has been so good, even though it's been like it's probably taken a year, which isn't that long in the scheme of things. Yeah. But it's not like initially you think, oh, you're doing anything crazy, but once you look at it over time, there's a thought process behind each post.
Yeah, and it's developed since then for sure.
Yeah.
Like
what did you say the other day? You were trying to up it?
Yeah, so the whole month is planned out, almost pretty much 95% of what the structure of each
what you
post.
Do a month out?
Do a full month, yep. The structure and topic of each post. If I can look ahead, obviously that can change a little bit if events come up or certain achievements or something like that in the gym. Yeah. But a month out is planned, and it's 4 to 5 posts a week now. Yeah. It will be, but also we've had a massive hand from our coaches. We in terms of statistics on our stories, stories get viewed a lot, right? Not everyone sees posts, but stories get seen every day by non-followers and followers. We see people sneaking on there, some competitors having a look at our stories. But yesterday, for example, I just counted it because yesterday was still active, 50 stories in one day.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So we're by 5, that's 250 for the 5 days. And then we have Saturday and Sunday. So you're probably looking at 300-ish stories per week that are additional touch points that we're just sharing what we're doing. And that it just adds on to that already great foundation of word of mouth members that we have, like great referrals. Yeah. It just reaches the rest of our actual geographical community, letting them know we're here, what we do, and you're going to love it if you come. Yeah. Try it out.
And an easy change for that was just getting a gym phone, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we used to ask coaches do it, but it was hard because they would have to be logged into the socials. So what you'd end up finding was the only stories which we would have up would be when Jack or I were coaching most of the time. Whereas now because we've got the gym phone, it's just logged in. So, and then it gives it that consistency of like it's from the same phone, so the camera's the same each time.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
It's a game. Yeah, it's been a game changer, and we're also lucky. But we use Sonos as well, so they can use it. Because I know some people, if they don't use Sonos, then they won't be able to play the music through the phone. So then you need someone else to play the music through, like an iPad or something.
And it's where they sign in people to the class and all that sort of thing. It's definitely been a game changer, and the quality of the content. And even that's come along crazy in a year. Like we have one of our coaches, he works in social media a little bit, and it's funny, just like people saw his stories that he was putting up and they're like, fuck, why do they look so much better?
The zoom in, wasn't it?
Yeah, the zoom in and the exposure settings.
Zoom in and exposure settings. Like the zoom in is like, because you go to any other page, I don't really see anyone else zooming in like that. Which is like, it is whatever, but it is a little bit different.
It's just like part of the full package, right? Like and it's part of like, it almost represents what even though social media isn't like our great offering or anything, but it's part of it, and it represents us leveling up across everything. And that, just seeing that coach do that level up on that one thing, everyone's like, oh, I want to do that as well. Yeah. All our coaches are like, oh, I want to be elite at that as well.
But if you go on a new page now, say you're looking, go to a new gym or whatever it is, not necessarily just fitness related, and you went on their Insta page and they didn't have a story up straight away, it makes me think, are they active? Yeah. And then you see when their last post was. Yeah. And if it was like a couple of months ago, it definitely tells you that, I don't know, it tells me that they're not that they're not fully invested, but perhaps they're, I don't know, there's something going on, or they're stretched, or I know they could be focusing on the business, but social media presence is focusing on the business.
For sure. And the members love it as well. Like they love being tagged in it and getting to reshare what they're doing at the gym, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, we have heaps of,
it's cool, yeah. It's been really cool, the growth of that.
And I think us being open, like I know some gyms are a bit weird about people taking videos in the gym space. Because I think they perceive as a negative culture which you could be creating. So like, so how I see that is like back in the day when I was PTing at like Titan Fitness in Coogee, right? You would have guys, shirts off, camera, taking photo of their like jacked, geared up physique, right? Or girls, fake titties with like little, hardly wearing anything. Video of them just walking on the treadmill, just like side profile, with like half a nip hanging out or something like that. Yeah. And then this is all about like just how they look and how they're perceived. Yeah. Whereas now, it's not about that. I don't think, and I feel like that comes across, but it's more about people being proud of hitting a certain lift, or like you see it all the time with people putting up like, oh my cleans finally getting there. Yeah. Or and it's not like them clean and amazing. It's just that they've improved, showing they've improved.
Or they can finally do a strict pull up or something like that. Yeah. I think what you're saying there would be, if you had a culture issue in all other aspects, if that was being promoted on social media, then that's just another layer to it. But we have a great culture and a great community already.
I think people get scared of it though. People get scared that could create a negative culture. Right. Whereas I feel like it enhances the culture we have.
100%. No doubt in my mind.
And that's been like us being open to that. Yeah. Like I know you, little things like bought those tripods for people to use, which, isn't like a massive thing, but it is just saying to people,
this is our message.
Yeah. Record yourself if you want to. Yep. And it's not, like we said, it's not a showy offy thing, because we'll do it sometimes just to show people technique. Like that's one of the best ways to learn technical cues. Yeah. Is for the person to look back and like, so say for example, like front squat this morning, if I'm saying about where their chest and elbows are coming down at the bottom of a squat, and I'm trying to explain it to them, and I see it's not coming across. So I show them a video of them doing it. They'll be like, "Oh, now I understand." And that's not with everyone. Some people it's different cues, but it definitely helps.
Yeah, it's funny how often that does.
The amount of times I'll take a story, and then I'll show them what I mean, and I might not necessarily put it up, or I still might put it up because it's not like we're like looking for like perfection every time we're on the story, because it's like normal real life people, right?
Yeah.
And that's part of it as well.
Yeah.
Like I think sometimes it can be like try to be too perfect with it all.
Yeah. Yeah, which is shit as well, right? Like we're literally just
it's not realistic, right?
Yeah, we're just sharing what's happening in the gym. So from last August, that was a big focus, the branding, the social media presence. We implemented some new merch.
Yeah.
And then from there, we took some limitations off, I think, ourselves. We probably had some mistakes in terms of like what we could be as a gym, right? Probably by industry standards, or like because we're a CrossFit gym, because we're in a funny street in the neighborhood, like maybe we had limitations of what we could really offer. I think both of us had a massive mindset shift into growth. Growth was a big one, and also like we can just make this whatever the fuck we want. So why don't we just make it the best possible experience we can? And that's probably when we started moving into that mindset, and that led us to working with a business coaching company. And we've started putting in all these official processes where we can implement and track all these things rather than sort of just thinking about it. Like the mindset's obviously the first shift. Yeah. Like maybe once we get to this membership number, we're capped. Like that's it. Whereas it sounds silly, but a growth mindset is like, oh, we'll just add more classes, right? We'll add more coaches. It's simple. But moving towards our systems and processes, what's been the biggest game changers you think for yourself?
Well, as you were just talking then, I was just thinking like I definitely had maybe, I didn't used to back myself or feel like I couldn't necessarily do things which were like slightly out of my comfort zone, and that there was like that insecurity of a bit like I'm not going to be able to do this, whether that's from a perception of like, I don't know, my intelligence, my experience, and it's kind of like you've helped that because you just do stuff. And I know a lot of the time you don't know what you're doing or like how to do it.
For sure.
But you're just like, oh, yeah, we can do that. I'll do that.
Yeah.
And it's like that. Yeah, you just figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like rubbed off on me over the past year to like, oh, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And we'll get it done.
And
we're both like fully dedicated
Yeah.
to try to make it work. Like that first comp we done last year, like we were both bricking ourselves because we didn't really know what we were doing.
Mate.
And then after it, everyone was like, that was run so well. And I was like, yes, because it's like we were both like had so much anxiety.
Mate, we were shitting it. And it was our first, like we literally didn't know how to run it, but we just figured it out. And I think...
Yeah. And it ran smoothly, but I do think it was driven by anxiety.
Yeah.
Was how it ran well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's empowering though, right? Like that just like figuring it out attitude has so many fuck ups with it. Like
yeah, of course.
Millions. But you get better at everything that you do over and over, right?
And they're not, at the moment, they're little fuck ups which we can just like sort out pretty much straight away. Yeah. We're not talking like massive fuck ups, which, I mean, we should be quite cool for them to actually happen down the line. Because like if we do put ourselves out there and we do like, I know, different investments, or we try to take the gym somewhere or whatever, and it doesn't work out, that's exciting as well. Yeah. For sure. It just feels like there isn't a ceiling on it. Like potentially we put on ourselves. Yeah. We put this ceiling on it. We can make it what we want. I think probably that what stands out to me is we made a very conscious choice to align all the coaching really well.
and that came with a coach's handbook. This is after we started working with our business coach, putting in these systems.
Yeah.
But we wanted to align the coaches, making sure we're delivering beyond just us being very laid back. That was probably one of our biggest mistakes, which there wasn't anything catastrophic, but being laid back is positive in some instances, but being too laid back and just not having any consistency or accountability across the coaching standard was definitely something that could go wrong. So aligning that with a coach's handbook, which just outlines our values, outlines our expectations, and what our members actually want and what we want to give our members.
I think in general, communication with a coach is higher than ever. And the buy-in from a coaches, I feel like, is higher than ever as well.
Yeah.
Because we want to be laid back, but we also want to be strong and like where we're trying to go. But we've also in a good position, which we've put ourselves in, is that the coaches are on board on that of like where what's important for the gym. And I think that's something we've been trying to be better at recently, is trying to be clear on that from ourselves. Yeah. And then for the coaches to also know that as well, and know what is important to us, and then what we don't really isn't so important. Yep. So sticking to, like, you know, we were talking about like sticking to the program exactly as it's written isn't a massively important thing if a coach wants to change it because of any particular reason. You know, like I don't know, like little changes, and like we're relaxed on like that, but like how we talk to members is very, very important.
Very important.
Our mood in the gym is how we our language maybe we use of like how we express cues and teaching is very important. Like manners, and I know it sounds like, but manners and being polite and helping people and leading by example is all very important things for us.
For sure. And I think that probably being in a laid back sort of mindset, you expect those things, but actually putting them into our handbook, and then also in our reinforcement with our feedback to and from our coaches, is how you make sure that what your dream coach is actually happening when you're not in the gym.
100%. And I think over the years we kind of got away with it because say it's just the owners coaching, and then you have another two, say back in the day it'd be me and Darren coaching, and then like Zoe and Emily. I mean, you don't really need to worry about culturally coaches, because all coaches there are like all on the same page and are top quality. And not like our coaches aren't top quality now, but the more coaches you have, the more likely things could potentially get lost in translation between the communication between what we want and what they're delivering. And like the less hours we're doing actually coaching allows us to work on the business obviously more, but that's where it becomes even more important for us to like our values and ways we want the coaches to express themselves. Like you want your coach to express how they want to express themselves, but it's got to be done in a way where we're still getting what's important to us, like portrayed to the members.
100%.
Like I love it when coaches have their own like T, for example, is like she coaches in a completely different way to all our other coaches. And the members have been loving it. Like some of the things she says with stuff she does, like you and me would never do. But that's good.
Great.
Because it's still brilliant coaching.
As long as the core values are being...
Exactly, Whereas the time and attention she gives to the members in the class is brilliant. Just how she delivers it is a little bit different. But that's perfect as well, because that might resonate, or has been resonating, with some of the other members, where how we do it might not resonate as well.
And having those different personalities in your coaches is the reason why, like, I don't know. I actually haven't been to an F45 gym, but That's the reason we can't just put the workout up on the screen and people follow it, right?
Yeah,
Which I think is what happens at those sorts of places. But
it creates that energy, doesn't it? Like the energy in the gym is like 6 a.m. this morning was awesome. It was just like pumping, people were laughing.
Yeah.
Like lifting tin, laughing.
Good.
Getting a little bit nervous. I have the music pumping before, just like let us simmer a little bit.
Yeah, DJ.
DJ. And then just hitting a fun workout. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Like, the vibes there.
So we, from this journey, implementing branding, social media into a culture shift a little bit with the coaching and making some of those processes more official. That also came from speaking to members regularly. So for every one of these things that we're mentioning now, we have regular intervals which we speak to coaches, speak to members in different brackets, like new members, existing members. So we get all this in this massive feedback loop to know that we're either what we're doing right and wrong, correct? So that was probably the next big step, talking to the members directly about what they want, what they like and don't like.
On a weekly basis.
Yeah.
That's the game changer. I think we in the past we have done that. But it's been sporadic. So you could go a year until you don't want the feedback to come at you. You don't want the feedback for people to reach out, because that means that they've been thinking about it for a while and it's come to the point that they have to tell us.
Yep.
Whereas us actually being proactive on that, we got some new equipment today, nothing like crazy, some plyo boxes and dumbbells and stuff. But I was putting it away today and Amanda was like, the 12s. And she literally said that the other day. Yeah. I think she said that to you.
Yeah, she was the one that asked for them. Yeah.
And then so from her perspective, she's mentioned it to you, and like literally 2-3 days later is in the gym.
Yeah.
I just think that trust we're talking about, which we're trying to build trust between us and the coaches, the brand, and the members.
Yeah.
It's just then reinforcing that trust. Is that, like, one, they get listened to. Two, when we listen, we act on it straight away.
Yeah.
And we're always looking to sort of add and improve.
Yeah.
Like, a set of dumbbells isn't a massive thing.
Yeah.
But imagine 2 months down the line, those dumbbells hadn't been ordered, and then she's in a class and she wanted to go 17s, and the 17s haven't been there. Yeah. And then she was like, I've told Jack this.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she might mention it to me. And then I was like, I didn't know about it.
Exactly.
And then that tells her that you and me aren't communicating.
Yeah.
And then basically tells her that we don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's been huge, right? And it's like we can think of so many great ideas of how to improve the gym, but I think the main shift is that we're actually setting it up as a system that we can't miss. Like, we're not going to miss our scheduled in deadlines for and reminders for all these things that we've added in.
And we keep each other accountable as well.
For sure. Yeah, we let each other know.
Like, every other Friday you message me just saying, all my check-ins are done.
Yeah.
And I ain't done them yet.
Yeah.
But then it made me do them. Yeah,
exactly. And part of that is this feedback loop that we get is, like, I have a reminder which we do it anyway when we receive it, but I have a reminder just in case we don't think of it off the top of our head to send. So it's on Tuesdays every week, send at least one of the feedbacks that I've got from a member to the coaches.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
And then I can, if I want to deliver something that's maybe that I've seen in the gym that I didn't like a simple one I did a couple of weeks ago was I shared someone's feedback saying, this is great. Like, this shows what we're doing is really working and resonating with people. And then after that, I put, just a reminder, guys, the machine layout of packing the machines away can fit like this. So it's like stacking that feedback loop in a positive but constructive manner.
And it's called a shit sandwich. I think that's called.
Is it really?
Yeah, wow.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Isn't that
is
what
that
the lady...
what you're doing, a shit sandwich?
No, I didn't call it that in my own mind, but I guess that's what it is. Yeah. So from there, So we've gone from coaches to processes and feedback loop with the members. I think along this road, we're improving the facility as well. And we're undertaking probably the most costly one at the moment that we have, which is renovating the bathrooms, which is a bit overdue, but there's reasons that we couldn't just do it immediately. And it's not like it's the most important thing, but
it's our weakest part.
It's our weakest part for sure. And it's something the members have wanted. And we're in a position now that we can actually do it and do it really well. And I'm stoked about it. And I think that it comes back to that limitation.
You're taking the lead on it, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Obviously, my background,
job,
it's massive. My background is in construction, so it's in my wheelhouse.
And I love it because I know there's no chance you're going to be doing this and it's going to turn out.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do a half-ass job, right? But this is going past some of our limitations that we probably had as well about being in the area that we're in. Like we're in this funny area of South Maroubra where the street's a little bit rough, but there's no reason why we can't have a sick looking gym that functions really well.
Yeah.
And maybe previously we thought, like we're a CrossFit gym, we're in this older warehouse, like we'll just lean into that and that's okay. But now we've got this facility, which isn't perfect yet, but we're cracking on with it to make it awesome because the members deserve that. It's clean. Like we have a cleaner. We have 4 different cleaning sessions a week now. We have our main cleaner, and then we have Daniel on the weekends come in as well. So that's 4 a week that we have someone in there doing some form of cleaning.
See, that was a weak spot for us as well because of how old the gym is. The dust became very problematic. Sometimes, and then it's also having the enough funds to be able to pay a cleaner to do it.
Exactly.
And you could be like, just clean it yourself, but trying to build a business whilst cleaning. It's not about the actual process of cleaning the floors. It's about everything on top.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It does not end well for owners who clean their own floors, do the programming, do the classes, do the member updates, new members. That does not end well.
Something has to give way, right?
Well, the way it ends is they close. That's how it ends.
Right. And that comes back to this growth mindset. We could do a lot of those things and save a lot of money, but maybe we haven't gone north at all. And if we did, it's just saving money for our own pockets, which every time we've been able to increase membership, which increases revenue, obviously, naturally, we've been able to put it into something else, more.
Like all our coaches now, like getting paid a premium coach rate.
Yep, exactly.
Which we couldn't afford to do previously.
Yeah.
And now we're at a point where they are all getting premium rate, which is awesome.
And we have 50 classes a week now with a couple more to come soon. Yeah. Which is mental to think about. And we're very likely to add more in along the track in the next year or so. So yeah, it comes back to that growth mindset and breaching limitations of, like you said, trying to keep it in this tight little thing that
on that mindset thing. Anywhere. Like I went to I think traditionally a CrossFit, it was called a CrossFit box, right? A box, which kind of refers to something it's like garage gyms were very popular, right? Doing CrossFit at your garage gym, and then you had this CrossFit box, which does sound like a spit and sawdust kind of gym, right? Yeah. And that's traditionally how it was perceived and how it was done. So when we were with the gym in Lexington Place, which is a rougher area, I mean, you got $1 million houses like
it's funny,
you know what I mean. Maybe this is a little bit rougher area. With that, you kind of like an older building, so you're kind of thinking, right, you kind of put yourself in a box, but you also kind of think you can get away with it. It adds character. It's not adding character. Like you can't get the industry now with CrossFit and all the other competitive gyms, has literally got to a point now that you cannot get left behind. And I think that's one thing. If we didn't start upgrading, didn't start improving our facility, we would get left behind.
Yeah.
Especially with the price in Sydney, people, everything's so expensive. People aren't going to put up with $8 a week for like a subpar.
Yeah.
And you can get to a point where we can get the gym to a great spot, and then you've got that character part of the gym which just adds that little bit of like little bit of something. Because some gyms are so fucking boring. They've got no fucking character.
Completely agree.
But it might be clean, but there's no fucking character to it. Whereas we've got heaps of character.
Yeah.
Our gym's always got too much character. We need to pull back on the character a little bit, you know what I mean? And that's, I mean, you're fighting a losing battle a little bit with just how old the building is.
Yeah.
But we can work to advantages. I'm fucking pumped about the amenities. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, very exciting. I think like our priority was to fix some of the actual function of the coaching culture feedback, and then now we can focus on those fancier bits, I guess.
Yeah.
To just put the cherry on top. And just another thing that we've been focusing on from there onwards, since working with our business coaching as well, is expanding our offer to that larger community, and that's come through some paid marketing, some ads. So the idea of that is to bring in a more beginner focused group. So getting beginners into CrossFit, breaking down that barrier, and that just comes from them. We need to educate them on that we're actually here at where we are in our gym, because people didn't even know we were there sometimes. And then also that it's accessible for you to come in. And that's what we're doing with just reaching at those last few percentages of our geographical reach that people don't get it by word of mouth. That's why we use the ads, and it's to educate and bring in those beginners. Right?
Yeah, I'm talking about getting left behind. The amount of gyms around us, like perfect example is Yard Gym. They market so fucking well. Like it looks great.
Yeah.
It looks like a really cool gym. So that's what you're competing against, because they're on a similar price to us. And that's what we got to be, I wouldn't say comparing, but it's got to be something we're aware of what they're doing. Like what we do is a step above and a step better, I think, from trainer methodology to coaching.
Yeah.
What they might have an edge on potentially is facility.
Yeah.
So it's just making sure that we close that gap as much as we can.
Big time.
So people aren't leaving our space. It's like, oh, I love the training, I love the coaches and stuff, but the floor's just too dirty for me all the time. I feel weird.
Yeah.
Doing burpees on it at 6:20 in the morning.
Yeah.
I hate going into the bathrooms.
Yeah. I can't shower before work.
Yeah,
or
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and I think we've run the line on that over the years.
Yeah.
But it's something which we really want to just keep leveling up.
Yeah. It's in our control now, and we're in the spot to do it, and we're going to fucking smash it. We don't have a lot of time left, unfortunately. I'd love to keep talking, but in terms of a couple of part of the processes that we have put in play, I think actually, and this is more towards your side of things in terms of sales and retention, would you agree putting in some number targets and number accountability has been a big game changer to your weekly and monthly and quarterly target in terms of how we measure those things, and what do you actually use?
Yeah, well, I had nothing to measure before, so I'd be going off feel, having a rough numbers in the system. Obviously, when people want to cancel or long holds and so on, being aware of that, but it'd all be like guesswork basically.
Right.
Whereas now, everything's recorded. So every new member which comes in, obviously I put them into the system, but then I have a spreadsheet with a date, and then I have it in waves. So like this week, we've got like 4 on the waves for this week. And that's been a game changer from one, me being able to keep track of where we are.
Yep.
And 2, keeping updated with them as they go through the beginner process of, say, a 4-week beginner program with us. Of the amount of times I'll be like, fuck, I forgot to catch up with so and so. But the lady's there, so I can see, and then I have like a brief description of like what she's done before, where she's at in her training, any injuries or any hang-ups or anything like that, so I can touch on them. And then that also crosses over to every week, without fail, emailing the coaches with the updated new members coming into the gym. Not only new members, but members who are in the 4-week process. So say they're in week 3, that they're in week 3 and where they're at with that.
Yeah.
And then, so that's been, I feel like that's the change how members feel, and the communication between us and the coaches, to then them not being surprised when so-and-so turns up at
exactly
6 p.m. and has only done F45, you know? They know where they're at, and they expect it. So that's been a game changer, just from a tracking perspective of where we're at, and knowing, like this week, we've had a few cancellations this week for different reasons. People moving away, people jobs in Sydney, and so on. But it drives me to, like I said yesterday to you, we're like a -1 for the week. But we're a +1 for a week as it stands. So it's like an ongoing process. Like, like we had a massive week last week, but I'm not like feeling great about it. I'm stressed that we're going to be in a negative this week. Because I just, like I said to you the other day, I just try to perceive it as week to week.
For sure.
So if we can be +1 each week, we're growing nice and steady. It's not going to affect things too much, but we're moving forward and moving in the right direction. And if we do have a minus week, it's good. That's good to know as well. I mean,
exactly.
We haven't had a minus week in over 4 months. We've had a few zeros in there. No minus.
It's basically just keeping track of it all, right? And to let you know that we're in the right direction. And that gives you a few more points as well to communicate to our coaches. And
like you're saying, doing the weekly thing, like every Monday without fail, I'll send an email to the coaches and I'll send an email out to the members. I just don't think that's done as a weekly thing in most gyms. I think it happens. They might post a little thing up on Facebook and that. We don't actually use Facebook anymore. We did have a Facebook group, and I just think it's kind of going that way. Like we have a lot of members who don't use Facebook anymore. But we also, because of the previous members, it got, I don't know, I think it kind of killed it a little bit. So email was our way forward. And
it's very direct as well.
It took a little bit, I think at start, it took a bit of getting going. But now a lot of people, majority read that email.
And we message and call the members as well. Which is even more direct. And we see them.
Because on that Monday, I'll follow up with the new people, and then the 4-week people. And then your follow up. Sometimes I'm like, is this a bit too much? But I think it's good.
Share the love, right?
If they want to ignore us, they can. But
so we'll just wrap up on this. What one other thing we both do on a Sunday, we plan our week on a Sunday. So it's almost like taking, like Sunday's your day off, right? But we try and commit to planning this out. We send it to each other. And then I know for me, obviously it helps me know what your week's looking like and where our previous week had been. But I know for me, my Mondays now, I fucking hammer. Like, I am flying on a Monday morning now. Like, I get so much shit done from in that first like 4 or 5 hours on a Monday
Mm.
before I go to the gym and train.
Mm.
And it's just been a game changer for me, actually just planning out the week, recognizing wins and
Yeah.
losses from the week before, and then
Yeah.
how
so
you're going to grow the next week.
So what? Yeah. So we write 3. So from the previous week, we write 3 wins, don't we? 3 losses or
Yep.
lessons.
Yep.
And then 3 things we're like looking forward to.
Yep.
And then from there we write 3 things which we're looking to do for the week, don't we? On personal, wealth, business, relationships.
Yeah. And then we break down our week by day after that.
I love a relationship one because it's something which I think I kind of like neglect in my head about like something I should be focusing on in the week.
Yeah,
But it's so important.
for sure.
Like even like one of mine was to like get River, my boy, to riding his bike without stabilizers. You know,
Yeah.
like just writing that down is cool because it's just like something like that's a really cool goal
Yeah.
to try to hit. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not there yet, but we're trying.
Yeah.
He's getting there.
It's written down anyway.
Yeah, it's written down. Definitely.
Um,
And then you have a breakdown Monday to Friday of 3 things which you have to try to hit on those days.
Correct.
But I would advise anyone to try to do that.
Yeah, try it.
Um,
And if you can have a commitment, an accountability level to it by sending it to someone, business
Yeah.
partner or
if you
something.
DM us as well, we can send you like an example. Like
Yeah. for sure. Is it obviously there's so much more on my list we could talk about, but I think we have to wrap it
yeah,
up.
no, that was good, mate. I think.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Check out the new merch.
Check
New
out the merch. Yep.
Hat,
Jacob's trying to fill out his XL.
oversized tee, XL. It's sick. I love it.
Bit loose on the arms.
Bit loose on my arms. Feels nice on the titties though.
Good. That's what we want.
That's what we want.
That's what we're all chasing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, team.
See you in the next one.
See ya.